Hi, I'm Rich Rogers. Watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. I use the he/him pronouns. Very excited. This is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome, where we play on either sides of giant ocean across many time zones. And this is the beginning of a new series of the game called Spire. Spire is from Grant Howitt, who is a prolific game designer, and Spire is very interesting. Grant Howitt and Christopher Taylor, just double checking on the PDF, did not want to miss anyone out. But the best part about this game, friends, is that I'm not GMing it. Tyler has stepped up to the plate and agreed and offered up Spire for all of us to get to play. And so I will just hand it over to you, Tyler. You are in charge.
Thank you. Hi there. I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and indeed we're going to be playing Spire, which is a kind of post-apocalyptic fantasy game about oppression, about revolt and rebellion against those who are keeping down the rightful owners of Spire. All of our characters will be playing Drow, and members of the Ministry. The Ministry is an underground rebellion organized into cells to try and kick out the High Elves who have taken over Spire. And if I could tell you, these High Elves, they are awful. They suck on ice. They are terrible. And so we will be dealing with them. And it is a dark game, worth noting. There is a great deal of weird fantasy to the game, a lot of mysteries in Spire, and in truth, it has a kind of grimness to it, but at the same time, I think we could find some humor as well. We are using certain safety tools. In particular, we're using the Lines and Veils safety tool, which we have already kind of filled out some of the things. Lines are things that we're just not going to have in our game. We just don't see a reason for them. They are not going to be a part of it at all. And for us, we're going to have sexual assault, and we're going to have cannibalism as a line. That's just not going to be there. And then we're going to have veils, things that may exist, but are going to be off camera, faded to black, avoided as a direct thing. And for us, it's harmed children. And then we have Ask First, which at the moment we don't have any, but Ask First would be something that you decide you want to do that might be a little edgy, might be something that could cause a little problem, and you bring it to the table. Go ahead and say, I got this idea. What do y'all think? At the moment, we don't have any, but let's remember, we can always add things to Lines and Veils. It is a living document, and we want to make sure that through it, we have the most comfortable, most fun, safest environment to play in. We also have the X card, which for folks that don't know, the X card is if something becomes problematic, something becomes too personal, something too intense, or it's just destroying your fun, then you can either make a little symbol, or you can put something in chat, or you can say, hey, Tyler, I think I want to X that. I will admit, I tend to look at players' lovely faces and not at the chat. So you may want to get my attention over to it. But if there is something, what we'll do is I may ask for a clarification, but I will never ask for an explanation. And I will pull it back, and then we will reframe and move forward. Again, the whole point is we're a bunch of friends having fun. We want to make sure that it's as enjoyable as possible. Now, the fun part. We're going to introduce all new, wonderful, fantastic, rebellious characters out of everyone. So let's go around the horn and have people introduce themselves and their characters. Sabine, tell us about your character.
Okay, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm saying that because I have to say it in every video, and sometimes I don't, but I will still say it. So there it is. I'm going to play Vizar. Vizar is an inksmith, which means that he writes stuff. Mostly he writes stuff about elven interest and gossip, and schlocky dime novel stuff that he gets occasionally paid for. He also will pester people and try to get more elven interest stories about the higher ups and the lower downs and everybody who might be at least semi-interesting to the public. It's all for the public. That's what he does. He does it all for the public. Yeah. And he will refresh his stress when he does something reckless for the sake of a good story. So yay, good stories are the thing, man. Vizar has done his durance and service of the Elfir in a library, which was actually not what he wanted to do, but yeah, and he was told to stand around and carry stuff for the Elfir for the first half year until he got into the service of, I have to look up his name, it's a long name, there it is, Venerable Redolent Dreams of Firefly Glyphs. And now the dear Redolent Dreams, he doesn't have the name, or they don't have the name by chance. They are very redolent, which means to say they're lazy as fuck. They just hang around the library, claim that everything anybody else does is their thing, that they have done that. And once they figured out that Vizar actually knows how to wield a pen, they sent him around and had him copy stuff in the library. Now, Drow aren't allowed to read in the High Elf library for reasons, because there is magic there and might turn out the poor Drow inside out, and who will clean up that mess now? And might mess up the book. So he wasn't supposed to read. But if you're copying, I mean, you kind of have to, right? So, and then became that he had actually the excuse, if he was reading a book and somebody came by, he was like, no, I'm copying this for Redolent Dreams of Firefly Glyphs. And nobody asked Redolent Dreams if he couldn't remember. They couldn't remember if they had given Vizar something to copy or not. They don't care as long as there's a copy and it looks pretty. So yeah, that was actually not that bad, but Vizar didn't want to stay there. It was kind of boring copying stuff all the time. No, they went out of durance and then they went into the journalism business. And he calls himself a journalist, if you ask, or a writer or something like that.
Awesome. All right, cool. And we'll find out a little later how you got involved with the ministry. But let's move on. I'm kind of coming up from the right of our character keepers. So Jen, introduce yourself and your character.
Oh my, here we go. I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Fonara, who also uses she, her pronouns. And she is an Azurite, which is a merchant cult thing. Still kind of getting used to the context cultural that is associated with that. And she worked her durance as a dealer, so she's very focused on commerce. She's good at compelling people to do stuff. She's good at deceiving. She knows a little bit about fighting. She has a bodyguard named Goloset, who is, her primary weapon, if you will. So she's done some rough and tumble stuff. I don't have any deeper thoughts about her relationship to her Alfir master.
That's fine.
I wonder how much, if at all, it persists since her durance is over. But she's got hidden stashes hidden within the city limits. Once per session, I can get a non-unique, mundane piece of equipment instantly as I retrieve it from a cache. I'm a rich bitch. And I know what people want, and I know how to get things for people quickly.
Nice. Excellent. Thank you very much. And then next, Rich, tell us, introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hey, I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel, so there you go. I am playing the character, the drow by the name of Aramitz. He used the he, him pronouns. His durance was as a hunter, and at least as far as he has said in his kind of default sermon that he gives at the church, he became a priest because he found the love. He became chosen by our glorious lady. He was a silvered, and the light side of the moon shone upon him when he was away from the wonders of Spire hunting. And so he stepped into the church after his durance, and he serves the church by helping the downtrodden drow of Spire, and has come to be part of this cadre because it is unfortunately the right thing to do.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Next up on our list is Alex. Introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use he, him, and I'm going to be playing Gerald. He is the masked. During my durance, I was the kind of valet butler to a high elf, but mainly my job was as spy, to collect gossip and hearsay for my master, and occasionally, other subterfuge. I think I still have contact with my master, and to him, we're still friends. He's with this, lower drow. He's, he deigns to be friends with, and I'm allowed to act as if I'm still in his employ for my own business, own sakes. In exchange for the latest gossip and rumors and hearsay I've picked up. I hate him. I absolutely hate him, but he's useful for now. I'm very good at talking to high elves and keeping them happy, and stopping them from the larger excesses of their kind of, oh, I'm bored of you now, and then some hideous thing that they do.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And last but certainly not least, Jan, introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, my name is Jan, using him pronouns, and I will be playing Zordin. Zordin was, during his durance, a duelist for Resplendent First Light of Dawn, which meant he was there to defend the honor of his master, and if there's any slight, you just have your duelists fight it out for you and see who wins, and then you see who is right. And it's entertaining to watch. And Zordin did that for a very long time, for even 9 years, much longer than the durance is required to be, which is only 4 years. But it was a good job. But then he lost a duel, and he got dropped like a stone. And then he looked. He fell a bit on hard times, and joined the Knights. Now the Knights in Spire are not quite what you expect from Knights in from other games, because the Knights are really just in service to the bars around the northern docks. And like technically, I guess they're kind of sort of like officers of the law, but they're really just there getting drunk and doing quests for their bars or their order. Sorry, yes, of course. Zordon is a member at the moment of the Order of the Kraken Bell. Yeah, I mean, at least if you're, in service to a bar, you can drink and you're allowed to to carry a larger weapon. So that's all nice. So yeah, that seemed like a good job to do after after everything went to shit.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, since it's first session, we've got a few things we're going to try and figure out before we kind of get into full play. So we have some bonds. So we're going to go around. One of them is bond to NPC direction. The other is PC direction. So why don't we go around and have folks, if they have their NPC bond ready, or if they want to, kind of workshop, talk about it a little bit, we could do that. And then we'll have that person also see which way we want to go with the PC one. And I'm going to go back the same direction, Sabine, if you feel like you're ready. You are muted, my love.
I'm trying to unmute here. I was talking to the computer because I noticed that I was unmuted, and I don't want Skype now. Yeah, I'm done. I have bonds to 2 individual level NPCs, at least one of whom is in the criminal domain. They provide you with access to organizations and districts you're interested in writing about. So my NPCs for this are Vizik. He's my cousin. He runs a gambling den, and he's elbows deep in criminal dealings, like stuff. I don't know. You run a gambling den. I don't want to know what his criminal dealings are. I want to know the down low on who's got debts to whom, who has told him stuff, who was there in the gambling den with a person who was not their partner, stuff like that. And I have also Marzi. She's a lady of the night, writes amazing poetry. Really, it's really in style right now because of the sad hype. And she writes very sad poetry. She also thinks that Vizar is into her. He's not really, but yeah, he strings her along basically for the gossip.
I see.
I mean, it's not like he's cruel to her or anything, but he just lets her think that he actually admires and wants to have a relationship or something with her. He doesn't. He's into Gerald, but he wouldn't tell her that.
I'd like to ask first, this cousin, I'm guessing is Drow, is the lady as well.
Yeah, they're both. You can look at their pictures in the NPC tab. They're both Drow.
Ooh, I'll try and show our pictures here to everyone here in just a moment. But
I'm really happy with the Vizik picture. So.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do, once we do some intro, I'll go through and show everybody at home. Are you much of a gambler? Do you partake of your cousin's entertainments?
I really shouldn't. I don't have much money. Maybe that's the reason why I don't have much money.
I see. And your lady friend, does she work one of the bordellos, or is she more of a courtesan for hire, or?
I think she works at a bordello at well, it's still in the Drow part of the city, right? Because this is all low society, but it's one of the better ones. It's one with the single rooms, and they all have a theme and things, and people can go there and wear a mask and be let in separate entrances, so they won't have to see anybody and nobody will have to see them. Stuff like that.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. And your PC leaning bond.
Oh yeah, that is I have a bond with a fellow PC who you wrote and published a story about. What did it say? And are they really happy with it? And I think I wrote a story or a piece about Fonara and how awesome she is. It's a fluff piece basically to tell people Fonara awesome. go to her, buy her wares. She's really quick. If you order with her, you will have it yesterday and things like that. Yeah, I think she might have hired me to do that because I usually don't do stuff like that. But you know, if money's tight, you're right. That X is very awesome.
Then I'm going to ask Fenora, what sort of relationship, this Inksmith has written for you, but is it, why did you go to him?
He's got away with words.
And do we think this was pre your induction into the ministry? Have you known each other that long, or was it something once you'd already become a cell?
So after we became a cell.
Well, that makes sense. That you trusted, knew them. That's excellent. All right then. Cool. So we've set up. Yes.
And are you happy with what I wrote?
Ooh, good question.
You said the things that I wanted you to say. It's hard to say boo to that.
Wonderful. All right then. Well, Jim, let's hear Fenora's bonds.
Well, I think that her NPC facing bond is it's an individual level bond with someone who buys, sells, or smuggles things for a living. I think it's a drow named Hatrel, who is a Malak dealer.
All right. So into illicit things. Excellent.
Yep, my business might not move illegal goods often, but I know how to find illegal goods.
Where do is this sort of transactional relationship? Is that why you know each other? Found someone who dealt this, or is there an old history between the two of you?
I feel like we knew each other before I moved into the city.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you weren't born here in Spire?
No.
Interesting. Do you think you're from the area nearby, or did you come all the way from the home nation?
Yeah, I come from the home nation.
That begs the question, and maybe it's something we'll find out along the way. But if you'd like to answer, why did you leave and come here?
Don't know. We'll find out.
I like that as a find out. Excellent. And your PC bond?
I have a bond with one of the other PCs who I helped out of debt. Say who and why they got into debt in the first place. Which one of you scrubs looks like a debtor to me?
Might be me.
Yeah, it could be Jan, it could be Rich. I mean, it's...
I was just going to say, yeah, if you wanted to be Aramit's, perhaps when he first started walking in the light of our glorious lady, there were certain accoutrements, vestments, robes, and the like. And maybe he's got also among his equipment a healer's kit. So I could see needing some loans to have those things to make sure he looked the part.
And that quarter plate is heavy and expensive looking too, but he might have Sordin might have gotten that from,
Also, masks are expensive.
Yeah.
And once you change to a different order, then you have to settle your bar tabs, and that's a thing.
All right. I think I'm gonna have Aramitz be my bond. I think that's interesting.
Ooh. Aramitz, why did you go to Fedora? What drew you to that Azerite?
I'd never heard of Fonara before the article, but I trust Vizar's words, and what he says has always worked out in the past. So I went to Fonara after that, and everything worked out.
Excellent, excellent. Then Fonara, knowing that having met Amaritz, was it you?
I didn't
That-
want to. So we get the habit. It's Aramitz.
I'm sorry, Aramitz.
It's
Was it you that suggested he be inducted into the cell?
No.
Ooh, then we will find out how that happened here soon. All right. And I'd say probably coming up like right now. Rich, why don't we go through your bonds?
I have two to begin as a large. Just to check in, should I? What do you guys think? Should it be Lajan or if folks like Jan, Sabine, Alex, L-A-J, Lajan? Okay.
That's how I was that's how I was pronouncing it. So yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I just like to check in because I am from the South. So we pronounce things very differently than
Yeah, I imagine.
How would you have pronounced it?
I mean, I would have said Lajan, but mostly because I was like, if I were to show that to anyone that I went to high school with, they'd probably call it like a Legion or something.
Lejan, baby.
Lejan. I could see that. So Lajan. Cool. I have two bonds, one with an NPC and one with a PC. Begin with an individual level bond with an NPC member of the congregation who's sympathetic to your goals. I have named them. Her name is Yvette Montresson. She is a beautiful young drow who's fascinated by Linier's words. We've been intimate in the past, and she says she wants the relationship to become public, but I have cautioned her that my church is my soul mate. So I have not yet used her for the work that we do, but that is a possibility. The PC, well, of course, I'm not going to discard it because it's all the good work. It's important. I have a PC bond, a bond with a PC who I've helped overcome sickness, injury, or addiction in the past. I was like, my first instinct was that it could be after Zordon was hurt. Perhaps I helped him to recover.
Yeah, he was probably just hooked on painkillers or something. Yeah.
Cool.
Like he got his face smashed in, so.
I have a bond with Zordon.
Awesome.
So it was something like you had gotten in kind of in deeper than you should have with these painkillers. Does that feel like a good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I could have already stopped taking them, and I'm like, yeah, but it feels good though.
Do you miss them?
I mean, I think that's the alcoholism is probably still a bit related to it. Yeah.
I haven't done really much of anything then.
Hey, look, it's a better addiction, probably a bit at least.
Then I'll ask. Yeah, yes. Probably. Amaritz, what do you think of his drunkenness? Is that something you would also try to pull him away from, or do you see it as the lesser of two evils?
It is currently the lesser of two evils. As long as Zordon is imbibing without running from problems or pain, then we all have our foibles, and I do not judge him.
Mm, mm. Now I'm going to, we have that in our folder, but there's our map, and I'm going to
I need
share.
access.
Oh, dearie dear. Really?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
Same.
Did I not have it in the general link? Right. There we go.
We want Spire, not under Spire, right?
Yes. And this should give us all access. There.
Yes.
And I'm gonna share, I think, so folks can get a look at. Oh, that's right. Now I'm in all of that thing. So let me pull it up again. Boop, boop. All right.
It's much more detailed than the one
Oh.
I've seen in the book. Yeah.
It's fantastic. It is an absolutely wonderful map. I'm super excited about the map. I love maps. So I'm going to share screen a moment here. That'll be popping up.
I love the picture for the hanging gardens.
Mm.
Like,
So-
oh, in that sense, hanging gardens.
Wow, that's a repugnant mess. I like that.
And
I really don't.
the hidden ministry is there. But we see here the Cathedral of Our Glorious Lady. Rich, do you think that you are like a priest in residence at the cathedral, or are you more an itinerant priest amongst the populace? And kind of give us an idea. I'm thinking, well, the vast majority of us probably are centered here because we have the Blue Market, which is where most of the Azarites have their businesses. Up here, we have the North Docks, which would be where our knights are.
Mhm.
And this is the entry level here to Spire,
Mhm.
ground level roughly. Whereas you're up a little bit higher when we get to the Cathedral of the Glorious Lady.
I believe that Aramitz is down with the others near St. Perdita's circle and all of the activity. I think perhaps he gave a few sermons early on in the Cathedral of Our Glorious Lady. But once the ministry involvement came, he was transferred or moved himself down.
Excellent. Fantastic. All right then. And I think that that sets us there. Yes. Did you have a PC bond? Did we get that?
Are you talking to Aramitz?
Yeah.
Yes, I had the
Yes,
bond
yes,
with
yes,
Zoya.
yes. Overcome. We just,
Mhm.
sorry, my
No worries.
silly mind. All right then, Alex, let's go through your bonds.
Yes, I have a street level bond with 3 servants of my former master. So, Josh, a runner boy who, sends messages, fetches things, general odd jobs. Young drow boy. Viserys, who I think is basically in my former position as kind of head ballet, butler, head servant. And Asha, who I think is like not one of the ones who has to wear the glamorous servant uniform. She's in the back, doing the kind of cooking, cleaning stuff out of sight where, she won't offend with her, face. I mean, she looks perfectly normal. It's just, she's old and
I see.
that might upset her, the high elf.
And these are friends. You
Yeah.
trust them?
For the most part. I don't think I share with them ministry business. Like,
Probably
I mean,
wise.
they might guess, but
Is there one of them or more than one of them that you feel like is especially devoted to the cause or might be easily turned to the cause?
I think Dosh is pretty young. I mean, I'm thinking under 10. I think could be quite easily manipulated to the cause. I mean, I think we've never talked about it out loud, but I think Asha just definitely knows that I'm working for the ministry. And she hasn't said. So that's something. I haven't told anyone.
Might be dangerous, so. All right. And your PC bot?
Yes. I assisted them during their durance. I haven't come up with I was thinking for Bizarre.
Yeah, sure. I mean, having someone who tells me how to do stuff, how to not be an obnoxious gutter snipe, actually, in a library that yeah.
Because I feel it would either be Zordin or Vizar, people who have had to deal with high elves on a regular basis. No.
I'm good if it's me, because yeah, I feel that Vizar is a loudmouth. Vizar talks a lot. And for someone to tell him when to keep his mouth shut, that would actually be something that would be a lifesaver.
Yeah, I can imagine like doing some of, about my job. I was going about for a situation about to develop, and I came in and just the fuck out of it.
Can you put your camera slightly up? Because I always try to look under your top screen, and I know it doesn't work, but that doesn't actually really help me. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That's very distracting.
Yeah, I just went in there and just
cool. Yeah.
Walked my way through it and distracted them, and suddenly you were not the focus. And
did you bring me into the ministry?
Well, that's a good question. Were you one of the first of the ministry in this cell?
I think I would have at least brought out the ministry. I don't know if I would be so maybe.
That seems likely then. It feels kind of.
Yeah, we said before the chat, but it's part of one of the bonds. I have to come up with a horrible thing that my former master did to me or somebody under his power, and I was thinking another servant from a suggestion of Sabine's. It was really good. I just twisted it slightly and made it into another servant, got turned into a statue as a jape, an amusement by my master. And they're not animals, so they turn them back before their durance was up. So, what damage can being a statue for a few months be?
The durance is going to be being a statue.
Yeah. And I think I developed a deep, abiding hate for my master during that time. Though I still use them for the you know, pretense so that I'm working for them. With their knowledge, they know that I don't work for them, but I give them gossip and rumors and such,
Gotcha.
and it amuses them. So,
Can I ask, what inspired you to help Vizar? What did you see that made you put your neck on the line?
I mean, maybe this happened not long after the statue incident began, and I mean, I always, everyone knows how high elves are, but maybe that was when I kind of, saw the kind of how just casually nasty
that-
they were. I just was like, I saw that another incidence of just casual cruelty was about to happen over, and I was stepped in.
And Vizar, did you appreciate it right off?
I don't know. Right off, I think I must have understood it, because otherwise I wouldn't have done what he said. I'm not the person who does, but I got the sense of danger, and then I understood that he had basically maybe not saved my life, but saved me from a lot of trouble, from a lot of bad things that happened. And ever since, I've had this kind of mooncalf infatuation with him.
Lovely.
So,
Ah,
I mean, he saved me, right? And that's why I can tell him. I need to project a kind of tough facade. He wouldn't. I mean, it was no. He wouldn't understand, or he wouldn't like me, or I don't know. I'm
perfect. I love it. Well, let's get to you, Jan. And what are your bonds?
So, my NPC bond is I have an individual level bond with my squire, a young dark elf serving me with an eye to becoming a knight themselves one day. So, I've named my squire Thirza. And I have to say whether she is idealistic or cynical, and I feel that she is idealistic. I think that she probably, like, she'd seen me fight during my duelist days, and specifically came to me to become my squire. And even though I was initially like, go to the Carmine Scepter and, go bother someone else, like, she just, she kept persisting, and Sordin was just too tired to keep pushing her away, so eventually just like, fine, whatever.
What was her durance?
Let's see. I have to look at the durance.
That's fine. Was it one of the martial ones? Is
yeah,
she
I think she enlisted.
So served in the forces, perhaps even the allied defense forces, maybe.
Yeah.
And then once durance was over, came and found you, probably very, very immediately after.
Yeah.
And being idealistic and meeting you, what is your relationship like? How does she handle you?
I think that she definitely, like, still, like, she's seeing that Sordin is not, like, as good as he used to be, but she's probably thinking that she can get him back to his former glory.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. Nice. And your PC bond.
Right. So my PC bond is I mean, I had a drinking buddy. I have a bond with another PC. You and them used to go drinking and still do on occasion. Describe the wildest thing you two got up to and one of your on one of your legendary nights out. So who would like to have gone drinking with me? And
What do
this
we
one can
think?
be very open.
Anybody feel like partying with the night?
I mean, I feel like it, but I don't want to jump on something somebody else would want. But I feel like drinking with the night is a great opportunity to get stories, right?
I think so, yeah.
Does that
Okay.
sound like it? All right. So tell
what do
us
we
about
do?
it.
Like, did we like liberate a keg that's the one of the more there's a few night orders that are not very like reputable, like more like pirates. So maybe we liberated like some kegs of beer from
Oh, I just heard cake.
keg.
We liberated cake, not casks. But I would love to have liberate. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. We meant to liberate beer, and we just ended up liberating an entire wedding thing with cakes and wine and beer, and somehow we ended up with this. As I imagine, we have coaches or something like that. Or with this entire barrel, right? And not barrel, this entire cart of stuff.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. I think maybe like let's see, the weasels probably would be a good choice for that.
Yes.
Yeah, they're yeah.
The
And I wrote an amazing dime novel about this whole thing that happened, and maybe that was maybe a bit obvious because the weasels hate me now.
Wonderful. Oh, I love it. That sounds like a great drunken adventure. All right then. Well, why don't we take ourselves a break here, and I'm going to come back, and we've heard, Alex, you've kind of told us Gerald's impetus for joining the ministry. And I like the idea that maybe you were the first of this cell. So what I'd like to hear from everyone else is what made you decide. What was that moment that you knew you had to do something? And then Alex, I'd like to hear kind of how you went about assembling the cell. Sound good? So let's go ahead and take about 9 minutes, maybe come back 15 after the hour. Alrighty, we're back. So let's go around and find out kind of what brought everyone here. And to give us an idea, the ministry is set up into cells. The idea being that this way, if the authorities find one group, they won't be able to give up too much information on the organization as a whole. Generally speaking, a cell will know maybe a couple from other cells, but not know, like, it is very unusual for you to know a complete cell of somewhere else. And you would have a contact who would probably be a minister, which is the little bit higher tier above a cell, and you would have one that you would be the one that you are in contact with, and only in necessity would you have been introduced to more. And since we're kind of starting with the idea y'all are a newish cell, you have only one minister that you've gotten to know thus far. Worth noting, she's there behind me now. And you will also find her in the NPC tab. Your minister is McCareth. And I misspelled contact. I will fix that. But there she is. And so let's go around and see what brought you into rebellion. Let's start from the other end. Why don't we go starting with you, Rich?
Okay. I think Aramit's maybe first heard about the ministry during his durance. He's just removed enough from the world to have heard some of and maybe the Elfir complaining about a particular terrorist group. And so he was interested in learning more information, but I don't think we've worked out a connection with Gerald. So, perhaps he first became involved through something that Vizara had written about. Maybe there was some kind of code built into a newsletter of some kind, something in the classifieds or something in a puzzle that was to be worked.
So was it a matter of that there was no one moment? It was just that you learning about this, you were immediately drawn to it?
I think there is no one singular moment, because Aramitz does not see any one tragedy worse than another. It's a lifetime of tragedies that he's witnessed, and he doesn't really think about any tragedies he's personally suffered. But as he stepped into the light of the moon, he understood that this was also part of his calling.
And the glorious lady, the worship of the glorious lady is allowed under the High Elves, under the Aesir. But and unfortunately, you've seen many of the clergy cooperate with, even collaborate with the High Elves.
It's true.
What do you think of those that do this? Let's say before you joined the ministry, what was your opinion of that?
I understand it's an easier path to walk. There are so many troubles that we have to endure that it's easier to fight one less battle. I'm disappointed, of course, but I also, if I didn't feel so drawn and compelled, it's something that would tempt me as well.
I see. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go over, let's see, I started sort of in the middle. So let's go to you, Jen. What was there a breaking point? What made you decide enough was enough?
Can you imagine a circumstance wherein the Elfir would be like, well, I know that this is like 20 cubic meters of usable goods, probably food or medicine, but you didn't do the thing we want, so away it goes. Like destroyed, like some total grapes of wrath moment where it's like, well, nobody's buying these oranges.
Oh, absolutely.
Even
yes.
though so many people are starving. So we're going to cover them in kerosene and light them on fire.
Otherwise, the market would be flooded.
Mm-hmm.
Giving away, you get no taxes from charity.
Yep. I mean, then it's worthless. What's the point of feeding people? I think that would be something like that would be Fanara's crack ping moment, because even as a dirty trader, she's like, but it's goods, and you could just take the loss. It why?
Obviously there are other merchants that deal with and give perfect deals, work so hard to please these high elfin overlords. Do you make a point of dealing across the board all the time, or have you found yourself where you've felt pressure or chosen for favor to give these sweetheart deals?
I'm not really sure I understand the question.
Do you placate the high elves, or do you deal fairly to all people? If high elf or drow come to your stall, is price the same, always the same?
Yeah, I deal fairly. The high elves can fucking afford it. Fuck them.
Excellent.
If anything, I upsell them on shit.
Love it. Excellent.
And it makes them feel like they're getting special treatment, but I get my money.
I love it. Okay. I like that crack moment, just the waste of it all. That's lovely. Perfect. All right. Bizarre, Sabine, was there a moment? What brought you to rebel?
Hard to say. I think I've always been a rebel at heart, against everything. Basically, what they told me to do, I'd never liked doing things by the book. And when you're a little boy and you make up stories all the time, right? You want a story with a conflict, a big conflict, where you're a hero and you defeat the monster. What's the monster? What's the monster in all time? That would have to be a high elf, right? Because they are just bad, kind of. And that's why I had trouble during my durance, because I knew at that point that I shouldn't just yell defiance at them, but it was kind of hard not to insult them to their faces in clever ways that I thought were clever. But if you're a teenager, you're not half as clever as you think.
So it really is almost a desire to be the hero in the story then.
Yeah, that is I'll do anything for a good story. And what's the best story ever? We get those fuckers out of our city.
I like that. A very personal reason, if not particularly a highly moral reason.
No, I guess not. But come on, they're bad. They're the bad guys.
Oh,
if you
there's
fight
no
them,
doubt about that.
You're the good guy if you fight them. So it's easy way to be a good guy, I guess.
I like it. Jan, Zordon knew them well. You fought, you bled for them.
Yes, but I think Sordin during his journeys was very much in favor of like he was like this is good like and they bring me to parties. It's like I'm having a good life. Everything was perfectly peachy. And then, of course, to be dropped like that. And by the way, I found out that the one because I looked at the drugs that they have, and Godsmoke is specifically a pain killing drug, which grows around churches. So it really like links back to Aramit's immediately. So yeah, I think it wasn't until after he'd been dropped like that, and like it was probably Aramit's that's like Sordin was probably aware of the fact that the ministry existed, sort of, but like didn't care, and then it was like probably when Aramids brought him around from got him off his Godsmoke addiction that he was like, okay, sure, I get it now.
I like that. Your squire, is she aware you're in the ministry?
I think Sorin tries to keep it from her as much as possible, but I also think that one evening, on duty, being too much in his cubs probably said a bit too much. So I think she's aware.
Is this something she approves of?
Probably, yeah.
I think so too. Yeah. I think so too.
Like, it's probably one of those things where it's like, oh, okay.
Something good from her night.
Yeah.
I like that. Excellent. Now, Gerald, you've kind of heard these others, how they were brought to this point. How did you form this cell?
Well, I first think I would have like hunted out a ministry contact, which I think I would have like gone out into the city, shed all the kind of pale shit that I wear, and just tried to kind of blend in and use all the information I'd gained in my durance and stuff to find someone. But then, yeah, I mean, Sonora, that seems like a very, practical decision to go after. Yeah, and I think might have been one of the first people I would have tried, to woo as a ministry agent. I don't know how easily that would have been, or
So Fenara, when approached, were you reticent, or did this seem like the answer that you were looking for to combat them?
I liked the pitch, but I don't sign a contract with another business unless I know about as much about their financials as they do. So basically I fucked with Gerald for weeks.
Like, I think I would have tried to I would have gone about like recruiting the others as almost we've got this in our cell, we have this.
Yeah, because this, it sounds like a good pitch. Are you the real deal, or are you a sting?
Yeah.
What's going on? I'm a very deceitful person. So I'm cautious about, is somebody lying to me?
Hmm.
You know, it would be super bad if someone was lying to me about this. And then I got myself into some entrapment and then got not killed, because of course that would be barbaric, but bad things.
Yeah. Hmm. I think what I would have tried to win. I think maybe I would have, if I think I would have, if I felt I could get a read on you and trust you, I would have gone in and just like put all my masks down that I have in front of you, like all my false identities and my known identities to
Mhm.
else and stuff, and just
Yeah.
like yeah, and just basically put it all on the line.
Yeah. And that's about the only thing that Finara would respect in the situation, I think.
Because, yeah, I mean, Gerald's good at deceiving, but I think that's not the right play.
I like
And I
that.
think I would have either I would have got Aramitz through Zordon or Zordon through Aramitz. I don't know who I would have approached first. Like, I would have gone for
Sorin
one of
through
them.
Aramitz.
Okay, so I would have.
Cool.
Yeah, let's hear that conversation. What does Gerald say to Aramich? I'll have a moment there, and I'll be able to hear you. But I absolutely must blow my nose these stupid allergies.
I think I would have had my ear out, my ear to the the gossip and stuff to like, and be watching the crowds and stuff and like trying to find people who spot people who have an issue with that might be turned or not exactly turned but recruited. So I don't know what would have made me target Aramis, like some actor that could have
Maybe
been
Vizar,
interpreted.
if Vizar was already recruited, he might have been aware of Aramitz's leanings, and maybe Aramitz a few times had said, "Hey, this particular puzzle was quite interesting. I enjoyed."
Oh, is there like a letter section?
figuring- I don't
Or
think
at least-
that Aramitz has written letters. I think Aramitz has sought Vizar out and
Does
talked
Vizar
about it.
do the weekly word jumble?
Amidst other things. I mean, I think Vizar has fun doing codes and stuff and putting it into this. Maybe he's writing. I don't know what kind of Vizar's writing would Ermitz be into. Is he reading dime novels or?
I think everything. I think Aramitz is a voracious reader of Aramitz's of Vizar's stuff, but I think that Vizar plants things in, I don't know if it's a newsletter or just a rag that
Probably wouldn't have even gotten this if he hadn't been reading a lot of his stuff, because he kind of cross-pollinates, right? There are names in the dime novels, and then you will find that name again as a kind of the innocent trader blah has said this, and then you'll figure out that wait, that's the same guy, and how does this all tie together? And it ties together into maybe a date, and later you find out, oh, that's where something went down. Hey, stop.
Ooh.
But of course, Vizar has been like, what? No, this is the totally by accident, coincidence. Really, do you think there is a conspiracy here? How interesting. I'll make notes about this.
And then you told me.
Yeah, and then I
Okay,
told you, hey, there's this priest, and he's really good at reading clues, and maybe you should talk to him before he figures everything out.
Oh, maybe it was a thing where you guys were discussing, does Aramitz need to die?
Ooh.
Right.
Or maybe I had to go in and just kind of, well, decide.
Yeah.
Maybe when Aramis was told about this, it was a invitation or possible last moments, and maybe Aramis isn't entirely sure that was an audition, that a failure would have meant death.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a cool idea. Hmm. And then that would lead to Zordon coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I would recruiting people, I would have probably like, is there somebody who could be useful / who would be interested,
I imagine that recruitment sort of like how the boys recruit, like in TV show. Like, well, someone's been wronged by Xavier. Let's see how he feels about it.
Yeah.
And probably it wasn't difficult. Was it, Zordon?
I mean, Zordon was probably sort of like, what? Yeah, of course they suck. Fine, I'll join your little club.
Very gracious.
All right then. Well, I think we're going to assume that the cell has done missions before. We're not hopping in on mission 1 with the cell. You have worked together. You have as much trust as you can have in anyone in Spire. You know that you are one group, and you have been asked to do missions by Macareth before. I think that Gerald, probably it would have been Macareth that would have found you found in that kind of mutual circling originally.
Yeah, I managed to kind of find somebody connected to the ministry. Maybe not, maybe somebody in another cell, I don't know, but somebody who could at least pass the message up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this person probably might need to die or join the cell.
And I'm going to ask you there, Gerald, do you meet with her? Is there a specific place your cell uses to meet? Or is it more of you meet at public places? Or
I think there's probably a dead drop somewhere that we use, and
when we need to see you,
yeah,
blah, blah.
and then we will, meet all the location.
All right. Then, Jan, you've received one of these dead drops. Where is it? What sort of place are you being asked to meet? You don't have to name a specific place, but like is it a bar, a park? Where are we getting together?
I think it's meeting under the Sundered Bell. Which is perfect for me because it's like right outside my bar, so
I love it. All right then. So I think we're going to go to that meeting. As the 5 of you have come together, it's always dark in Spire. The lighting down here is dim, and right here at the docks, it's spotty. The river has a tendency to put out a fog that does not smell fantastic. And it is rather high tonight. Under the bell, there are little patches and glows of magical light, firelight, making little spots in the mist and fog. But at the same time, it's very difficult to see terribly far away. As you come around to your meeting spot, a little pier, to kind of go to the side and down where the water meets the edge of the river. And under the pier, you see McCareth. She is older. You're all aware she's older. It's always hard to tell for sure, even amongst drow. That aging process tends to be, there's a very definite, as you get later in life, it's rather sudden, the decline. You tend to be, pretty hale and hearty right up to that point when you're not, and that is the sign the decline is coming soon. But she certainly has always put out the image of strength and determination. And as you come around, she has a bullseye lantern that she opens just slightly as you approach. It is good to see you. Please, come in close.
Mhm.
Right.
We have heard some disturbing information, and I need someone to go and look into it. I can think of no one better than the five of you. Your talents would be extremely useful in this.
We are always at your service. Of course.
How so?
At the College of Divine Magic, the Infinite Library, there is a drow who has been studying something that is disturbing to any right-thinking person. But Rich, repeat again. I want to make sure I get this name in my head.
So here's the key, Lowell. I'm sorry, here's the key, Tyler. Three Musketeers.
Oh,
It's Aramis.
Aramis.
That's all it is.
Aramis. Okay,
There you go.
there we go. Aramis. That's still not it. It's Aramis. There we go. Aramis, I think you will in particular find this disturbing. She has been studying a legend that the goddess is not the glorious lady we know. And in fact, there is an older god that is older than the solar pantheon, older than our glorious lady. A god that binds high and drow together.
Okay.
This information is heretical, but worse, it will disturb the entirety of the stability of the religious balance we have here in the city. I do not believe what she is looking into could be true. But even a malicious rumor can have power. She kind of looks over at you, Vazar, as she says that.
I'm looking my most innocent.
We need someone to go find what it is that she has been researching. Ascertain if there is anything to it. Retrieve it and perhaps discover, well, if she can be allowed to continue with this research. It wouldn't be such a grand problem. We have agents inside of the college. However, the agents that went to go and find out this information say she has taken her office and it has disappeared. The entire office has simply vanished.
What? The building?
The room.
What's in its place?
Nothing. The wall where the door once stood is vacant.
That's a keen trick.
Huh? I'll get it.
Yeah, that happens when you have too many magical books in one place. So, though,
Does it?
yes, it does. I've seen it in the library up there. Is this the same library where my Durance was, or is it another one?
I was going to ask you. The Infinite Library is a maddening place. It is not the only library, but it is where the magical students go to learn.
Yep,
There
then
is-
that's the one.
That's the one. All
That's
right.
the one. Yeah.
And you would have studied you would have been allowed into where the research area of that library is. You would have known that the Infinite Library, going into the stacks, it is said to be endless.
Yeah, it's said to be endless, and it's a confusing. I know that people get lost there, like lost. I've met a person
People
who,
get lost everywhere.
yeah, but usually they don't get back, and then they think that it's the same day and 5 years have passed.
What?
I'm glad my academic vices are confined to math and music.
We need someone to infiltrate the library. The person you are searching for is Cirrus Duvall. Put the name up.
Write
So-
it down in a little tiny note paper and just pocket it.
She is a scion of a noble drow family, which allowed her to buy her way into the library, into the college, to begin her studies. However, she and her family have been collaborating with Elfir for generations now.
And if it's true, her research,
Then you need to bring me back every bit of it. The ministry will decide how best to use it.
Yeah,
I
sounds
hold my
like fun, I guess.
Does it?
I mean, come on, it's a library. How dangerous can it be? And I wink
You
at you.
just told us.
Maybe I just made it up.
That's the point, though. It's a library. It's not exactly exciting.
As you know, Vizier, it will not be easy to gain access to the stacks. You will need to find some beings to do so.
Oh, I mean, I have some ideas about that. I mean, it's not like Redland dreams of Firefly Glyphs knows what day it is.
I'm sure I could get some of you in. We'll get lured in, kind of, with a slightly less confidence.
They will look for proper authorization, but the talents of your cell are exactly why you are perfect for the job.
Very well. Sounds like everyone is bought in.
We will appreciate this, and of course, if you are caught,
Yes.
death before discovery.
Mhm.
We'll
Always with
just skip the discovery part.
Very well.
Don't worry, it doesn't have to be your death. I
Is
feel
there, is there anything, if there is anything, that you might need that the ministry can provide? Leave a message in the normal place, and I will try to provide what I can. Otherwise, I look forward to hearing about your successful mission.
I have a thing that we might need the livery of the people who work there.
Those robes would be of benefit.
We can provide that. I will have them delivered to you.
Usual spot.
Has Saris ever published work?
Indeed, there have been several things written, most blasphemous. Primarily, she has fielded studies where she says our glorious lady was actually a cast out of the solar pantheon.
Also, she writes in a very boring style.
Well, sounds like an academic to me.
All of academia is written in a very boring style, but this one is ours.
Isn't it though?
I'd be interested in a copy of at least one of the publications.
I leave it with the uniforms.
Thank you.
If there is nothing else, good luck. May the mother watch over you. And she'll step back, and for a moment, it's like the mist. You see tendrils of it, almost like a spider's web, cover in front of her. And then without a sound, she's gone.
The room. I whisper it to Jordan.
What?
She's gone, like that room we were supposed to look for.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't
Right.
the same process. However, let's go
You're gonna-
someplace a little more comfortable.
Oh yeah.
I suggest that we go up the stairs and to crack.
Really?
No,
Or
that
your bar.
Are you sure?
What a
Lead the way.
surprise.
first round's on me.
Okay, I'm in.
For us here, the College of Divine Magic is here in Upper Tintangel. We also have the Lunar Point and the Moon Pool. This is of some significance. It is a focusing point of the light of the moon where they distill liquid moonlight. It is used primarily by the High Elves in rituals, but it is also used by the Morticians Guild to create the Undying. Those who wish to live forever use that power.
Mhm.
And that is considered horribly heretical. And we also have the library here.
What's an anti-tree?
I don't know.
It's
Okay.
the opposite. It's the opposite of a tree.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I see. Of course, these are the roots that reach out, and the branches are underground. Of course.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm curious about the Corpse of Flight, SW
Um,
1098.
that is one of the sky whales who crashed into the side of the spire and made a hole, and now its rotting corpse is still there. It is why we don't allow sky whales to dock with the spire directly any longer. But
I love this.
for our interest, looking over here, we are down here, and that would be here.
Okay.
So quite a
Ah.
distance up.
There's luckily elevators.
If you wish to try to use the old tubes, they are quite dangerous.
Oh. Crap.
Okay. Sounds like it could be a good story using the elevators. That
Mm,
is a daring start of a journey.
I promise you, we will encounter them eventually. I have a couple of great adventures that deal with them. But otherwise, movement up and down the spire is allowed. Gerald, you travel up and down the spire all the time.
Well, yeah.
And so, leaving this muddy bank and heading into the raucous sounds of the Sundered Bell above.
Kraken Bell.
Kraken Bell above.
The Sundered Bell used to be the Kraken Bell, but they the Elfir cracked it because it was a demonology thing.
It was, yes, the drow used to be able to summon defenders with the great bells.
Mhm.
But as you go inside, the order will look, and see that you're with them sorted and kind of, have no problem. Sword!
Mhm.
And as you make the motion for a round, the bartender.
Like, Sordin definitely doesn't ask anyone what they want to drink. It's just going to be the same for everyone, which happens to be Sordin's favorite drink.
And what is that sort?
It's probably like a. I'm guessing it's like a dark ale type thing, which probably has like a weird fruity tint to it, but
That's good. Seems fine.
I take one sip to be polite, nod, very nice, and then don't touch it again.
yeah.
You find yourself a table that there isn't exactly privacy in the sense of people not being around, but there is certainly privacy in people being
Noise.
very loud around you, and you are very much at home, Sordin. This is as protected as you could be.
Well, we're going to have to get a library.
Books.
Yep.
Yes.
That's as far as.
Well,
Maybe I'll take somebody else with me to do that.
I suppose now might be a chance if we'd like to actually roll something.
Yay, let's roll. Sure.
rolling. Who
Yeah, I
doesn't?
know. This we're actually going to play a little with what
Ooh.
in the biz is called a system.
Oh my gosh.
You could perhaps try to figure out something about the library or about this person or about, sneaking into the college itself. So I'm going to start with you, Bizarre, because I think you might have the most knowledge of the area. Is there some means or desire you have to investigate this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what I would like to know, I mean, I'm not really good at sneaking. Mostly I'm just lying my way into stuff. But I actually might have some knowledge about the whole library thing itself, or even this Duval chick, because I've got an academia thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I might roll with that, right?
I think, yeah. Why don't we have you do, I think, investigate. Well, you're going to get one die to start with.
Yeah.
One die for investigate, because
Yeah.
you're looking into this. One die for academia, because you know the area.
Cool. That is a lot of dice.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good. 3
And
dice.
We're looking at the difficulty on this is our standard 0, so nothing, no subtraction of dice.
Okay.
And you're trying to roll at least one of those dice high.
Yeah. Do I have a target number, or it's the same for everything, right?
Right.
The target number.
We have for our system, and I guess it's worth going through that a little bit. A 10 is a full-on super great success. Top end full success. If you roll 8 to 9, you have a success, and you don't take any stress from it. If you get a 6 or 7, you have a success, but there's a cost. You're going to take some stress. If you roll a 2 to 5, that's going to fail, and you're going to take some success or some stress. And a 1 is a critical failure with double stress. And we're looking at probably your resistance on this one is either going to be shadow. Probably it will be shadow, unless I can't think of another one that would fit on this, because this is about secrecy. You're looking into it in a way that won't get noticed.
Seems fair enough.
Roll them bones.
Yeah, I'm rolling.
Oh, a 10.
Wow, that's the 10, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I know this stuff.
All right. And I'm just currently looking through your advance just to see if there's anything weird or
I don't think there's anything that would help me there.
Okie doke. So, some things that you'll know. That's a great success. So, some things that you're going to know about this. First off, Cirrus had her office would have been in the college itself. If it's disappeared like that, that's odd. And with your information, for some reason it seems as though the library is the place to look. The library itself is constantly shifting, changing, and odd. There are people who can go in there for legitimate reasons. They have library cards, which allow them entrance. They have the entryway are these large, enormous iron doors, which the librarian guards. The librarian has been there for quite a long time and tends to know most of the scholars who work there. Doesn't mean that there aren't, a library card should work all the same, but the librarian does tend to know most of the people there. Once you get inside, all the information you've been told is that it's not truly infinite. The students there are taught that the first lesson is to hold in their mind that it is both infinite and finite. What you kind of have pieced together is it's like a Mobius strip. If you begin walking, you will eventually get back to sort of where you started. But that walk can take days, weeks. Throughout the place are lost rooms of research, certain little areas that hold individual typed knowledge. It was there even before the High Elves came, but they have worked their magics on it as well. And it is said to hold information of unbelievable antiquity.
Okay. Cool.
Probably, I guess, with that major success, the best way through, you think, would, if you have the right credentials, you feel confident you could talk your way in.
Yeah, I feel confident anyway. But yeah, one thing is I have a nose for trouble, and once per scene I can ask what's weird or out of place. But maybe that's not really. Is that applicable? Or is
it might be more
gone weird? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be for this. It'd probably be more useful, say, when you get there.
Okay, fine. I'll hold on to it then.
Okay.
Okay, I will convey onto you that yeah, we probably need library cards to get in. But once we're in, I think I can find my way around there. I mean, I've been there before, so. But it's not trivial. Okay, navigating there, it's not trivial. It's not like I go there and then I go left and then I go left and then I go left and I get where I started. That's not how it works, precisely.
Then what? Then what? How does it work?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, right? I mean, I've been there for years and I know the basics. Okay.
Do you want to know?
Gordon, do you really want a full explanation of how it works?
Do any of you want another drink? I see, Joe, you're still good. Because I'm empty. Just saying.
If you get me another jug of this, I will give you an explanation. Don't blame your headache on me then. So.
Well, the first one was already on me.
I know, but that was because we're friends, and the second one is because I'm giving you information.
Benora, can you procure passes?
Library cards? These things? Probably. Honestly, I was wondering if maybe I shouldn't set up an appointment with the buyer for the library itself. The libraries add books all the time. That requires money. And I don't know if McCarth is already having another cell work on this, but it seems like it would be productive and not trivial, but not monumental either, to start seeding the book marketplace with obvious counterfeits that support Saris's thesis. Give them a little bit of that authenticity of time required to preempt her papers and sow confusion. Damages the uptake of her ideas. We beat her to market.
An idea with merit.
So that's one tactic. But we do still need to get into the library to confirm things.
Which requires the passes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can probably arrange for a good trade for them. Cool. Does the library contain any musical media?
Anything music, yes, of course, contains all kinds of stuff that can be printed
Delicious.
or
All right.
written. Don't follow the music though.
What?
Don't follow the music. If you hear notes, if you hear ooh, that sounds like music, don't follow that
Why not?
because it will turn your nose upside down, sort of, and your ears inside out.
In the library, Zorlin.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not here.
General music.
No,
in everyday
that's
life.
general music is fine, but in the library, maybe you'll just discover an interesting book about music, tells you the truth, but maybe something else might happen. Might turn into a harp.
Aramis, I expect you to keep an eye on Zorlin.
Of course.
I'll be fine.
Of course you will be.
All right. Well, it sounds a little like Fanara, you're going to try to get in touch with someone to procure library cards.
Yep, I'm gonna cut a deal.
All right. Okay. What person is it that you know that can get this? Like, what sort of things do they deal in? I'm not going to put you on the spot for a name. I'll come up with a name unless you have one.
I mean, honestly, I'm thinking of going directly to the library's buyer and being like, hey, I'm looking for some passes to the library because I heard that you have a great collection of smutty music.
Excellent.
What would you like for it?
I think that you, indeed, you go to, we're going to call him Carl. And
Is he like a human procurer?
Indeed.
Well, ambitious. That's always good.
He primarily brings in things from outside of Spire for them. And as you have come up and into his shop, which is filled with all sorts of outer land doodads and such likes, Fanara, how good to see you.
Carl.
Can I interest you in something? I have brought in some of the finest blood oranges from the south. Tasty, tasty, tart, and lovely.
Oh, that sounds very good. How much for a crate?
Oh, well, you know that you and I have an old history. I could probably, well, so that you could still have some skin in the game. 2 credit.
Sounds like fun. All right. Well, I was just thinking about getting those personally, but
Then you're getting wholesale price.
But I would be happy to move a few more if I can get a few of the local restaurants interested in some kind of blood orange concoction. What season is it right now, Tyler?
We're gonna say fall.
Okay. If it were summer, I'd go for a salad. As it is fall, tarts. Well, I'll tug on the ears of a few of my chef friends, see what they think.
Oh, well, and as usual, I will remember you helping me move through some stock. It's when I have things that have a time limit on them, it always makes me a bit tetchy.
Of course. It's always an antsy thing. I'm here today because I'm hunting for something a little more permanent. You know, my collection of those little bumpy discs that make the sounds.
Oh, yes. Your fondness for music has always amused me.
I've heard that the Infinite Library has a collection. I'd like to take some etchings and see if I could get a few counterfeits made.
That's dangerous stuff, Anon.
It's not illegal to have music.
It might be illegal to copy from the library without permission.
What they don't know won't hurt me.
True.
And it's not like I play my records in the streets for everyone to hear.
What brings you to me in your search for the Tripsicorian news?
Well, I heard that you procured books for the library, among other ephemera and items.
I've been known to work with the mages up there.
If you could get me and, say, 4 other passes just for...
4?
I know, it's a lot.
Sonora. Why don't we have you roll?
All right.
I think this is probably a compel. I mean, it's not, compel falls into that. It doesn't seem like you're trying to deceive him. And I think commerce will apply here.
Mm-hmm.
Your difficulty's 0. But I'm going to say you probably got a D3 potential stress going to your silver.
Okay. Got it. Does this ping either of my knacks of speedy delivery, or you said it yourself? I feel like I'm not really catching Carl in any
I don't
kind of verbal trap.
Yeah, I think it's going to be straight up, unless you want to try and do something with that compel. All right. So rolling 3 dice.
What we got? Hey, a 9.
Got a 9. That's a
Take-
full success with no stress. He says, Fenara, an old friend like you, I could probably come up with something. Now, I don't suppose that while you're in there, you would mind over much looking for something for me, would you?
What were you interested in?
It's right there near the font. They say that there's liquid moonlight on every shelf inside of there.
I find that hard to believe, but if I see any, I suppose I'll pilfer it.
Bring me even 1 flask and I'll pay you well for it.
I will keep that in mind as I and my fellow music lovers peruse the aisles.
Well, he moves back behind his desk. These, he pulls up a box and opens it up. These aren't student cards. These will be for delivery men. He hands you 5 passes to bring something in. I suggest cover story, but you're always so clever, aren't you?
Of course, you've always got to have a good lead-in for your sales.
I will say, though, that that librarian can be quite a stickler. You might want to have something there at least to show off.
Oh, that can be arranged.
Now, I will expect these back, Fenora. Otherwise, I'll have difficulty with my own deliveries.
Oh, understood. I was going to offer them back to you anyways.
Very good, then. And he pushes the crate across to Cred.
Absolutely. And, open the purse, ping, ping. Grabs the crate. Send the delivery by my usual storehouse. Whatever is your earliest convenience.
Of course. And if these restaurant ideas work out, I might be generous with the cut.
Understood.
And so you leave your friend there, Carl, with 5 passes in hand as delivery people. Rich, anything that you might like to do as setup for this?
Maybe less set up for this. I trust my compatriots, but you in America's discussion of the threat that Saristoval poses, so there was some kind of god that she was interested in worshiping, drawing power from. Eremits would very much like to find out more about that god.
All right.
Because that's pretty important.
Where do you think is this something you're going to go back to the cathedral to look into, or you have someone you might like to look into with it, or what you think?
I think going back to the cathedral was where he would start. It's where he's most comfortable. So yeah, that's where he would begin. If he finds anything there, then that's where his research will take place. But we'll see.
All right. So let's okay. You have a lot of skills. You're very good.
I do.
I think this What do you think? Obviously, it'll have a religion domain. Do you see one of your skills that you'd like to leverage to go and find this out?
Unfortunately, no. I don't believe Aramit's in researching is going to be deceiving anyone. None of the other skills that he has feel appropriate. So
Okay.
just rolling straight up religion. And I don't think I have any advances that will help me.
Okay. So rolling 2 dice. I think you're looking probably at a D3 potential stress for reputation for trying this investigation.
Okay. I'm willing to take a hit on my reputation. So skill. Yep, 2d10. Here we go. Oh, goodness. That is a 3 and a 3.
Yes.
That is a failure, and I will take stress.
So let's let me create a D3 here. Can I create a D3?
I guess D6 divided in half.
D6, yeah. All right. I'm going to roll. That's going to be 2 stress to your reputation as you begin looking around to find out a little bit more of this. And there in the cathedral, kind of your clues are, this god, this even more ancient than the solar pantheon, even more ancient than the glorious mother. You stumbled pretty quickly into, and this is probably something you've at least heard, the cult of a Damnu, which is a big part kind of our story. I'm not going to go into it a ton, but it is the kind of over god that the solar pantheon came from. That's general knowledge. You've heard of that before. It's, kind of a progenitor god. But as you're studying, trying to find out more information of something old or something beyond that, I think that one of the priests, one of the higher ups of the cathedral, comes over. Hermes, and we haven't seen you around the cathedral for quite some time.
It's true. Sadly, I've been called to serve another part of the city.
What brings you now? And kind of looking over where you're researching and into such esoteric knowledge.
Curiosity. Curiosity, my friend. How are you? Are you well?
I have been doing well enough. We have heard that you are ministering down below, keeping with riff-raff.
I have been ministering down below. It's true. It's been a blessing. And how have things been here, my friend?
They have gone well. We continue to bring glory to Our Lady by showing her in this glorious cathedral. The faithful come to be a part of her brilliant white light.
Indeed. I do miss it.
Well, then you should come back more.
Well, I believe I shall. Thank you so very much. You are most welcoming. Blessings upon you.
Blessings upon you. And he will move off, giving you an up and down. I think he's worth a name. He seems like an asshole to remember.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
So I'm going to stick him in. I think he's enough of an asshole that he's actually even taken on a high elf style name. Dances in the silver light. And there we go. I'll tighten that up a little later. But I think he is going to, be probably spreading a few rumors here and there of the prodigal coming back up, not wanting to be a part of the liturgy at all, just rampaging through the books.
Goodness.
Jan, anything that Zord wants to do to prepare for this mission?
I think Zorin will. I'll use one of my core abilities.
Ooh, what you gonna do?
Once per game, I can name a nearby pub, bar, or inn where I know the landlords. So I'll probably I will do my helping in this investigation will be going to going to the local student bar, because I'm guessing it's a student bar that's going to be around there.
Oh yeah.
Probably called the Metaphor.
Oh, I love it.
And just ask around a bit. Try and get a bit of a feel of like what kind of security do they have in this library anyway? Because like, can anyone just walk in there? Is there any security? And try and kind of find that out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you have no problem finding and getting in there, and despite the fact that you are not known to the general population there, the landlord, when he sees you, is Sorn. And why do you know him? How do you know him?
His son also was a duelist, and I fought his son in a duel at some point.
And won?
And I won, but I was merciful.
Ooh. All right, I like that. Okay. Then I sounds like possibly a compel. I think this would go with high society, because you're kind of playing off of the duelist end there. And since you know him, I think we're only dealing with, and you've got a favorable, we're only dealing with a D2 of potential stress. But it would be to shadow.
Let's have a look. The shadow is. I have a 10.
Oh, fantastic. He and you begin having this conversation, and you're wanting to find out about their security, right? So how do you breach that subject?
I mean, it will be breached after about 3 drinks. And then it's like, so, like, in the library, like, can anyone just waltz right in, or just like, do they? I heard you have passes, but it's like, do they? What do they do? Like, what if you don't have a pass? What happens then? Is there like a dragon that comes out?
Well, that's these little snots out here. He points to the students, mostly youngish high elves, but there are a few drow that are mixed amongst them that are allowed to go. These little snots, they're all terrified of that librarian. Supposedly he could turn you into a frog or a newt or something like that.
All right. That's interesting.
The real thing is, if you don't have means to get around in there, you get lost. I say there's some pretty scary things up in that library. I hear all kinds of rumors, but they say that words can come to life there. Or
how?
Beats me. I mean, I'm just telling you what I heard. Or that there are people that go searching for information there, and the information will take them over. They'll just become possessed by the knowledge of it. You know how they talk. And like it'll suck the life right out of them.
But you're saying that, words come to life. So if you say a word, will it come to life then as well? Like, can you order a beer from just the words?
I'll say that if you can, none of these guys are doing it because they keep coming back here.
Okay, fine, get it.
But it's stuff like they talk of fear becomes an actual thing, or or that there'll be beings made of great limericks and poems that you get caught up in, and you're just stuck listening to them over and over. I don't like libraries much. They're full of books and stuff, and I don't have much use for them books.
I don't know what you mean. Books are dumb.
Books are dumb. But if you're really wanting to try and go in that library, and I don't recommend it. There is a guy that comes in here pretty often. Name Secrets Whispered Through Gossamer. I put that in our little thing here. Rumor is that he's trying to map the place.
But I thought you couldn't map it. But he comes here. Is he here now?
Nah, I ain't seen him in about a week, but he used to come in all the time.
I'm gonna have to come here more often.
He owes me quite a tab, too. So I'd be glad to see him come back.
Well, I'm curious to get to know him. So I'll be back.
If he pops in, I'll send you a message. You still down at the Kraken?
Yeah, look, still got the same badge.
See, if you weren't a knight of that, I'd say it's a stinky piss hole full of nothing but a bunch of sots. But since you are, it's a great place, ain't it?
Oh, they're all the same, but yes.
Another one on me. I call this the mixed metaphor.
Ah, that was a mixed metaphor. All right. Appreciate it.
And so you picked up a bit of information that seemed like a fair off of a big role like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I'm very curious to now because I do have a move for make what was it? Yes, I want to carouse with this person once he finally gets to the bar.
Cool. We will probably hit that up next time around. I want to give Alex you a chance to do something in here, and then we'll probably call our session. You are muted, my love.
I feel like if we've got our passes, and be clear, what was Fenora's like? Was you thinking of going in as a buyer or seller of books, or was that you want to just get in and steal some books along the way? Fenora.
Jen?
Blah. Sorry, what?
Because I know we talked a little bit about some plans earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
Was the suggestion of going in as merchants?
We're going in as delivery makers. Yeah.
Delivery, yes.
So.
Okay, then I do want to use my dress for success.
Nice.
Advance. If I mean, it says a good cravat can cover all manner of sins. Can I use it to dress down people?
Absolutely, you could. Yeah, I think it is very much for the proper situation. So, I think that'll come up when we actually go in. You don't have to worry so much about it.
Could I use it on a group, or at least one other kind of spokesperson for the group? Do you feel it's just like focus on one target, or
I think it looks like that as long as you're willing to spend the time, you could do it on several people. I think for our purposes, you're probably going to do it on someone and they're going to be your lead in this. And we could, we have the game has the ability for people to add into roles. So someone would take lead, you're giving that, which is going to give the mastery. And then other people could add in to try and help with it.
Got a good point come up in chat.
And yes, you do indeed have.
If we pick those up, I think I would like somewhere private. I don't know where. Maybe in the back room of the metaphor.
Sounds perfect.
I imagine everyone's coming out of somewhere private where they've changed into the liveries, and it is not enough to be just wearing.
You got to be wearing it right.
Costume of exactly Fenora, exactly A star, A+.
I'm looking.
Do we make eye contact with?
Looking at Sword and really.
Anyone?
I know, Gerald. You've
Do we
told me
make
that
eye
before.
contact when we go in?
Can I make eye contact with you? So.
Anytime. But with the high elves.
That's why I'm wearing dark glasses. They can't see my eyes anyway.
Will we be making eye contact with the high elves, fellas?
I won't be making eye contact with the high elves, Gerald. I'll be good.
Excellent. And everyone?
Probably.
There. And back straight. Heels together. Good enough.
Oh, one other thing.
It's just like standing ready for a duel, man.
I will stain my fingers with ink stains. Just,
They already?
No, they are not. Usually I don't. I usually know how to not stain my fingers with ink, but usually I don't have to fight the books I'm trying to copy. So.
All right. And
don't think I didn't notice that extra touch, Vizier.
And so, dressed appropriately, I think we're going to come to the end of our session. We will have an opportunity when we start next time. Fenora, we can kind of do a bit of a flash to see you getting the whatever to bring as the delivery. I think Sordin, we'll see maybe if we get a chance to run into Secrets Whispered. We'll look to see about that. And then we'll begin our delve into the library. Thank you all. We've got a moment or two. It seems we're here on the first session. So there isn't a whole ton. We did a bunch of setup.
Session 0.
Right. But I wouldn't mind hearing kind of wishes that now seeing what the party is, of things that you, looking at your character, stuff that you find interesting, something we might try to delve into with them. Just to give me some ideas on how to approach what we've got coming in. And, sits the other side, how about a little bit of a star of here and there if you see anything that was interesting in our setup, interesting in your fellow players. I'm just going to go clockwise around on my screen. So, Alex, any stars and wishes?
The priest, this is a star. That priest, he was just horrible. I always appreciate a horrible NPC. That's And I also liked the actual consequences of the bad roll. I thought that was a nice. I enjoyed Vizier's little flirting. And Zordin's slurring. Just that little, I liked his speech pattern. I'll stop there with stars so I don't take everyone's and wishes. Nothing that jumped out.
Okay. Pretty set with stuff you're.
Yeah, I'm happy with the character and maybe I don't feel the need of this like come up very early or anything, but maybe at some point a need to interact with my old master or the staff in some way, some reason.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you. Rich, we will also give an opportunity for you to remove stress if you'd like. You currently are 1 over your extra.
No, I took 2 and I had a
I'm sorry.
rank of 3, so
I was
I'm
looking
okay.
at the other side. So okay.
Point of order. I think that we're using that part of the sheet incorrectly.
We're supposed to be having it on the left-hand side, and then when we take stress, we put it on the other?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I switched and I was like, okay, that's how that maths up, because the total takes the, for instance, if I put 2 stress underneath my silver, it shouldn't affect me yet. Here it doesn't. And then if I put a 5 in there, I have a total stress of 1.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So, Rich, stars and wishes.
We'll start with wishes. I wish to have scenes with other PCs. That would be cool. I know it was a lot of session 0, so I'm not worried about it. Also wish that my voice didn't sound weird to people that don't know what to do about that.
You are siloning ever so slightly.
That is weird. Right now? Even now?
Yeah, there's a bit of a...
It sounds like you're speaking into a can, like... There's a weird little echo.
That is really
I
bizarre.
can hear you fine. It's just
perfectly understandable.
We can understand you. It just sounds like you've got your voice modulator on.
Yeah.
I'm running it through modulator, but it's set to cleans and also not set to do voice changer whatsoever. So that's just weird. Here, does that make any change?
Yes,
that's perfect.
Yes.
You sound
Perfect.
again.
I just turned it off the voice mod. Okay, I'm not going to be using it for the game, so there you go. There's that wish has been granted. Good job, Tyler. Stars, Jen yet again playing hyper competent being. I love the idea of let me seed information like this, but not to get ahead of things. I'm like, oh man, the ministry's got to just take notes from Fenara, right? If they're stupid, they should. And yeah, Sabine, it's good to play with you again. I think Vizar is going to be an interesting character to bounce off of.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Sabine, stars and wishes.
Stars to everyone. I love these characters. I love the kind of grouchy priest. I don't know. We need to interact more to get the feeling for him, but he seemed a bit grouchy. Wasn't he supposed to? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that's just Vizar, who thinks everybody who doesn't talk as much as he does is grouchy. That's totally possible.
Wow, I've done a terrible job. I'll have to work on that. Thank you for the heads up.
Sorry. I liked Fonara going into the stealing things like wheels, deals, things here, there, everything in its place. I like that. I also love Sordin. That that whole let's get drunk now. No, I don't understand libraries. There are all those words. I love that. And I also love Gerald's and now don't make eye contact. And I'm still, Vizar is still a little sad that he wouldn't even let him make eye contact, but okay, maybe we'll get there one day. Tyler, I love the things that you did with the settings. The NPCs were fabulous, and yeah, I love, and one particular stars goes to all these pretentious names. They're so fab. I really love them. I will have to look at my Declan Oblige character and maybe see if I can't make the name a bit more pretentious there. But well, yeah, so much fun. And I would absolutely, I have a wish. I would absolutely, when we get to the library, I would like to meet my old master, the Redolent. What was the thing? What was the name? I forget that. That's so pretentious that even I forget the name. Redolent Dreams of Firefly Glyphs. I would like to meet them and maybe see if he remembers who I am. If he remembers that I'm not in his service, if they remember that I'm not in their service anymore, and if they think if I'm not in their service anymore and they don't care and I should do stuff for them anyway.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. Thank you very, very much. Jid, stars and wishes.
Oh, let's see. Stars. I like Vizar's chattiness. He seems like such a gossip, which is, I think, perfect for his class. I love anytime I have to like look at the map. Like it's intimidating because there's so much shit on there, but it's also, you know, exciting and illuminating ish because there's so much shit on there. So yeah, I'm interested to see more of this world. I liked getting people's bonds worked out. I'm very interested in seeing a bit more about like how Funara helped Aramitz get set up with the things that make him an active priest. I feel like I needed to take a shower after the priest NPC that you portrayed, Tyler. That was solid. It's just fun to see those little bits come out of people. I liked Zordan's very meathead portrayal. I like Gerald's assertive coordination. I think that is kind of interesting coming from him as this spy and somebody who's got a background of service and servitude. But you know, he's the boss servant, so don't call him no piss boy. Mask boy. Different. And yeah, so let's see, wishes. Yeah, definitely some solo scenes. I feel a little bit oops because I forgot about cutting in my bodyguard to the thing, but that's definitely a wish for next session is to
fights will happen and your bodyguards will be a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is to just work my bodyguard into the stuff and sort of establish how we operate together. I kind of assume that my bodyguard knows about the ministry and is down.
That's yeah, we can. Let's talk on that next session. Because I didn't bring in either the squire or the bodyguard in this one, kind of because we were pushing. I was kind of trying to sort of push us to a thing, but I absolutely agree. I want to explore those relationships because that's a cool part of your character.
Yeah. So that's that.
Cool. Thank you very much. And Jan, stars wishes.
I think my biggest this is that I'm for some reason like ridiculously excited about this game all the time. I keep going like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it's tickling my fancy. And it's all the little details about the map, and it's all the little like there's definitely a small wish is like I see a lot of symbols reoccurring on the map, and some of them make sense, but like sometimes it's like, okay, there's like a sword with an eye next to it, and like, what is that? What? I will want to find that out. That's one of my wishes. But yeah, the map makes me excited because it has such weird things like the corpse of flight SW 1098, and like, and then it's like, yeah, no, this is a sky whale that rammed into the side of the like, there's the little details really just tickle me. But other than that, my I'd say my wish would be like, I mean, this is not a slight, as in we should have seen more of this in this session, but it's really like I am looking forward to seeing everyone's former masters, at least the ones that are still alive. I'm assuming most of them probably still are, because fucking high elves. And I'm just, yeah, I'm excited about the game, and I'm excited to see more about these characters and how they interact with each other, and yeah, love to see more of it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody. Big star to everyone for kind of leaning in, getting these characters all set up. I will agree. I think I love maps anyway. I think this map has so much that's evocative. I'll say, Rich, I didn't think he was grumpy. I thought there was I saw this real sweetness in the devotion that was from the character. That, you know, I think that the flaw was that there wasn't enough time for people to get their characters out.
Absolutely.
So because he seems to be a very devoted priest. I just didn't give you enough time to show that.
That's no worries. No worries.
It's session 0. It's fine.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
and which goes to my wish, which is, you know, I wanted this one for us to kind of move to an action point of, you know, kind of getting to where we saw what our adventure was going to be. My wish is to make sure we have time for the interactions with each other. I don't want our game to be just mission to mission to mission to mission. This is an intro I went through. This is not our big campaign. This is to give us a shot of looking at things and putting us in a situation where we're going to kind of see everybody's stuff they can do and let y'all look at each other, see where y'all work together. So a big wish is that I make sure I have time for y'all to talk and build up the relationship. And I think next time around, we will hopefully get to do that. But huge stars for us getting these characters. I think they're phenomenal. And I think it's a really well constructed team, a really neat set of people. So thank you all for playing. And I'll turn it over to you, Rich.
Yeah, this is still bring it to an end. We meet again next week for more Spire fun. So thanks so much for running this, Tyler. Thanks everybody for playing and watching.